Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news and plenty to dive into today. The second last team to qualify for Masters has officially been confirmed from the Latin American region, but also 100 Thieves starting to make some moves. Rise Nation out of their contracts, it seems. Many changes going down in North America over these coming weeks, I'm sure, as a result of this Rise Nation explosion. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, just some further reaction here to the FPX thing that we talked about briefly in yesterday's video. The fact that despite qualifying #1 seed, winning the EMEA playoffs, they will not be able to go to Masters, and they explain the reason for that here in a second. Scream says, look, learning that they couldn't attend makes me feel really bad for them, but Liquid, of course, are now going to be there instead. They're going to, take the chance to hopefully lift it for you and EMEA, do justice to FPX. Now, this is what they say just to kind of explain the situation. In the past few days, we were formally informed by Riot we would no longer be able to qualify for Masters due to our inability to reach the minimum number on our roster for the live event. Angel, of course, being Ukrainian, Shao and Saigetsu unable to leave their countries for Iceland due to kind of worldwide travel restrictions related to the Ukraine-Russia situation. And according to Riot officials, Ardis is not allowed to play either as he recently tested positive, which we saw a couple of days ago. During this time, we've been actively communicating with Riot to explore possible solutions to keep our spot at the tournament, but Ardis is recovering, trying to enter the event with 3 substitutes or competing remotely or whatever it might be, but it turns out Riot was like, okay, no, that's not going to work, because I guess the idea was if they have to make so many substitution changes, then they kind of they fail to meet the minimum number of roster spots that are actually still there, so it's kind of a different team at that point, which so basically Riot have said, look, it's not going to work, we're not going to be able to do it, and therefore they've done so well the last few weeks, they won't be able to attend. It's a really difficult situation, really unfortunate for these guys. I wonder if they kind of knew about this before the fact that this was a possibility, and to still carry that momentum and win the playoffs anyway was honestly absurd. So hopefully they'll be able to attend future events, but for now, Liquid are going to be there instead. Very unfortunate stuff. Did want to mention this also, right, just because they, of course, would go into this tournament as the #1 seed. Therefore, let's say they would go into the tournament and lose every match they played, they would still kind of be eligible for a lot of circuit points, where even if they place like top 9, top 10, they would still be getting 150 circuit points. So hopefully, Riot still give them those circuit points to the team, despite not having attended, just because, I think they deserve it, to be perfectly honest. Hopefully they do that, but I guess far from guarantee whatever Riot will decide to do. Speaking of another team that's going to be going to Masters, a crazy series yesterday between Crew and Leviathan in the the grand finals of the LATAM playoffs, both Chilean teams effectively, and it's Crew esports kind of owned by Sergio Aguero that take this match in a 3-2 fashion. Unbelievable series, goes all the way down to split. cNed was probably cNed and Mazzino, definitely players that were dominating things, but yeah, 13-6 on split in the ends. They take the series, a dominant defensive side, gives that Leviathan with really no chance to close things out. And what that now means is that Leviathan versus Ninjas in Pajamas, the second place in the Brazilian playoffs versus second place in the Latin American playoffs, they have a playoff game coming up on Friday, April the 1st, in just a couple of days' time here, to determine who gets the final spot in Masters. So these currently then are the, 11 teams to Masters. Yesterday this was FPX, now it's Liquid. All the others are the same. Crew esports are here again, and then the final team will either be NIP or Leviathan, as we just looked at. Okay then, let's talk some Rostermania stuff, because lots has been going on in Europe and in North America, because Acend, of course, a few days ago, it seems like they were dropping Bone Cold from the roster, right, and moving forward with Killer still in the team. Still not 100% sure how to pronounce that, right? I've said it wrong so many times that you guys always correct me, but still, the Champions winner, of course, Acend at 1 Champions. They didn't even qualify to the EMEA playoffs to try and get into Masters again. Unbelievable stuff. But yes, it seems like Acend are making some more changes. So remarkable, really, how just a few months on from winning the biggest prize in VALORANT esports, their roster has effectively completely exploded. Now, well, it seems like Killers is also out of there. Bone Cold also gone. Therefore, they've been trialing some other players. Apparently, Deepmans and Fizzy were being trialed out yesterday. Deepmans is a player who apparently has shown an awful lot of promise. So I guess that is pretty exciting. But yeah, think about this, right? December the 12th, they won the grand finals in VALORANT. And just 3 and a bit months later, this team has, pretty much entirely exploded, right? And they're moving down a completely different direction. There was even talk, right, during the offseason that cNed might potentially leave for 100 Thieves, but he decided to stay on of course, Ascend, which made sense, right? They were the world champions. But as it works out, maybe things could have been very different indeed. But of course, in North America, plenty has been happening. The Rise Nation situation, which went down quite a while ago now, where they were kind of promised apparently to be getting bought out from Rise, and therefore there was a mystery organization that came in, apparently Rival Room. Don't really know what this is about, but George Geddes explains that negotiations have ceased between these organizations. They were meant to be buying out the starting lineup. That's now no longer going to be the case. Apparently, some lies went on, some swindles went on. It's honestly classic esports stuff, to be honest. But yeah, players and Rise management accuse the buyers of lying to them, etc. This is what George explains in the article, that they were informed they'd be on new salaries and were lied to by the buyers, according to sources close to the players. One Rise employee said that they were selling dreams to all of our players, telling them things that they could do in a certain time with no proof or any backing of it, literally just lies. So with delay after delay and lie after lie, here we are today with a dead deal and a bunch of players lost on what to do because of an organization that tried poaching from us when they had zero funding to do so. So just incredible stuff in esports, right? Someone comes through, they say, we've got loads of money, we're going to buy these players out. They get the players all excited, they want to leave Rise, join this other organization. Turns out nothing's actually going on there behind the scenes. Rise are now stuck kind of in no man's land with them, the players wanting to kind of leave anyway, and effectively the roster might just blow up entirely. Really unfortunate stuff, like, it's just esports at the end of the day, baby. But I feel like Rise Nation always get involved in stuff like this, just across many esports in their history. But what this does mean now is that Shanks and Neptune set to enter restricted free agency following this kind of move. And of course, you've also got Dephh over there, you've got Supamen over there as well. Those are two that are certainly in discussions right now, seemingly with top organizations in North America. This team of 5 was so good. Seemed like FaZe wanted to buy out this entire team apart from Shanks. They wanted to keep babybay at FaZe, but the Rise guys declined that move. They wanted to keep Shanks in the roster, but now everything's completely blown apart. This team was so good at the last chance qualifier last year. They almost took down Cloud9, or at least they made a crazy run, and they could have made it all the way to champions. Didn't happen in the end. They came in relatively flat to this year's challenges as well across the series that they played, but 100 Thieves, obviously they're considering their options with these potential moves on the table. They officially announced yesterday JC Stani is gone from 100 Thieves. We saw what he, revealed a couple of days ago in his tweet longer yesterday, actually, that, they didn't want to move with him anymore. He felt like he was going to get a chance on the team, but then DDK and Sean Guest came in and effectively thought they could do better than having JC Stani in the roster. So therefore, he's gone. Like Diddy here explains, it's unfortunate we couldn't find a fit with JC Stani in the new team. He's an excellent player, teammate, and communicator. Any top team would be lucky to have him. Wish him the best of luck moving forwards. But of course, his team didn't decide that they wanted to do that. They want to, upgrade, I guess, even further. Wanted to share this clip real quick from Hiko, actually, because despite the fact that JC Stani is gone and we know about that, Bang was the other player who was picked up to this roster. There's thoughts again, is Bang going to stay? Is he going to go? Hiko seems to believe that Bang is also gone from this team as well, despite it not being said anywhere else as of yet.
Just really unfortunate timing, unfortunate situations. Like I told both Bang and JC Stani, we really appreciate them playing with us, and we really appreciate them, filling in and giving it their all. And we tried to be as inclusive with them as we could, and we brought them in right away. But yeah, sucks, and really appreciate him, respect him, and he has my vouch. He definitely has my vouch.
So a few days ago, we heard the rumors that Wardell, and I think that Wardell to 100 Thieves makes so much sense for so many reasons. The role, kind of the personality type stuff, big name player, right? It makes a lot of sense on the J top and all this type of stuff. It makes sense for what 100 Thieves needs, and just from a branding perspective, also makes sense as well. So to me, 100 Thieves Wardell seems rather likely to go down. And of course, Dephh, right, was also from Rise Nation. He was also rumored to potentially be going to 100 Thieves also, which, look, if that happens, that's very exciting. It's an interesting decision if they want to go down this route, but the 3 players remaining were a massive question mark. JC Stani seemingly was going to go, but of course out of the other ones, Bang there, whose Hiko seems to believe is going as well, Asuna, Ethan of course, and Hiko himself, those are the other 3 players still remaining there at the core. Is it going to be those 3 plus Wardell and Dephh? That's the squad they go with, or is one of those players going to be gone? You feel like probably Asuna is irreplaceable as maybe as Ethan, but there was some talk about whether it's is time up for Hiko potentially, but at least from his words, doesn't seem like that's the case for now. So that's what we believe is going on with 100 Thieves. Could be plenty more to discuss on this, I'm sure, in the coming days. The other side of things, of course, is the fact that you've got Poise and you've got Supamen on the FaZe Clan side of things, potentially going there from Rise Nation. So, Shot Up and Flyer, apparently, they'll make way for the potential signings, and, Neptune and Shanks restricted free agents. So, not 100% sure this is true. Of course, it's all rumors right now. Things could potentially change behind the scenes. I believe Shot Up actually said on the Reddit that this is not true, but, still, you can never really trust the players, what they say. Sometimes they just make stuff up. Sometimes they're right on these issues. Sometimes they're just kind of hiding things. Or sometimes they don't even know what the organization is planning to do behind their backs. But of course, it does make sense, right? If Supamen is there, if if potentially Poised is there as well, could FaZe get those two? That seems to be a potential option. Of course, they're looking to upgrade their roster. Dicey's been looking good since they brought him into the team. But of course, they have to wonder whether this team is good enough to qualify, let alone like win and get to Masters 2 for Stage 2 when we get round to challenges once again in North America. So if there's some upgrades to be made, and certainly I think guys like Supamen and Poised should be upgrades given their kind of pedigree and history, then FaZe are looking to make a move like this. Of course, there's other options out there on the market as well. Neptune, also a phenomenal player. Shanks, certainly a serviceable player as well. So yeah, many things to come on this front, but seemingly 100 Thieves and FaZe Clan looking to make moves for these former Rise Nation players that apparently are not going to be with Rise for too much longer. Wanted to mention this before we close out the video. Willminder puts out this one. VCT Stage 1 at top 10 rated players from North America throughout the group stage in the playoffs. This gives you a pretty reasonable view of how good these players are. I mean, Leaf, Cryocells, top 1, top 2. No real surprise there. Xander, Penny from version 1, 20 at a 1.15. Yay right behind him. Zell, Sissicles, lots of version 1 players right here, despite not making it or really getting all that close, to be honest. And Sire player from the guard as well, of course, their Jet player who's been unbelievable the last few weeks and clutched that crazy 1v3 to take them all the way through to Masters. And just two very quick things to close out with here. Lots of talk about the new agent that's going to come to Valorant sooner rather than later. Supposedly something like some sort of Intel agent, right? Some sort of an agent that could potentially do what Sova does slightly differently, because Sova obviously very high pick rates. Codename went out going by like Bounty Hunter or something, going to be an initiator. But yeah, not all that much more on that at the moment that we can discuss, to be perfectly honest. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tell us the YouTube gods it's a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.